Okay, I think I can get started with the introduction. So thanks everyone for joining. So if we have not met, my name is Preetham Das, and I am one of the leads for the ProductTank Chicago. I'm also one of the co-founders for the Chicago Product Alliance, and really excited to host Mahesh here for this session. So I'll just quickly go over some of the upcoming events, so everyone is aware. Uh, the big next in-person event is the event with John Cutler. We're hosting this at the Capital One building, and this would be a great keynote, in-person keynote, where the keynote would be followed by fireside chat, moderated by Jenny Wanger, who is flying in from Colorado just for this event.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am Mahesh. If you don't know me, I will tell you a lot about me in today's session. So, thanks again. I know it's June and I should have been there to refresh my memories. First, let's understand where we are in AI, and then I will tell you the agenda, then the plan for today. 2022, everybody remembers that moment? I don't know. You remember there was a chatbot that was released, and everybody thought it's super cool because it talked like us. Seems like there was another person on the other side, and first time AI actually started working for everyone. But it actually started working for you, that you can ask questions, get better emails, check different things, ask for essays, or just do your homework faster, better, smarter. And it was so compelling that you took your data to this app, which you knew that going to copy your data and build another model based on it and not going to give you any royalty privilege or anything. But it was so compelling proposition that the users took their data to the models. This is first time happened, right? We got your data and then we applied your data to AI. This is the first time we were able to shift that people took their data to the model providers. Big guys saw that coming. So they said, actually, let's move intelligence to where you are, which is this idea that, yes, you can actually go and where you are, whichever app you are, we will provide you a right swipe and now you can get intelligence right there. So I'm like, okay, it reached everywhere. And then we released agents. The idea here was, okay, we're good, we can help you, but why not you just give us tasks and we accomplish or we finish those tasks for you? In 2025, we're talking about this idea of multi-agents, which we can take end-to-end goals and accomplish that for you. It might take 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or maybe a day. We will divide it. There's this idea of keeping a memory like us and building on top of that memory and doing things based on the learnings from the past action and checking if the job is done or not. Here are the 6 things on the tech stack side, like an orchestration, a memory, and cooperation. These are the 3 new things that multi-agents introduced, which were not there in just vanilla agents, which has tools to go do actions for you. Okay, then how that looks like? Looks like you assign it a job. The orchestration decides, is the job done? If not, then it picks which agent to call. The agent has its own focus, rules, tools. It has something called knowledge or retrieval augmented generation, and it has a memory. So it says, okay, I've done this job. Seems like I'm not able to figure out. Goes to orchestration, says, is the job done? And what was the status? Oh, it's not done. I need more information. Then it goes, calls this human in loop and asks for more information, and then goes to this loop again. And whenever it is done, it checks for its guardrails and respond to the user. Actually, I'm Mahesh. I have a lot of followers on LinkedIn. That's what the slides is saying. This is the real deck. So what I did is I build multi-agent systems for Google, where we build these multi-agent based systems and try to scale our GCP by building agents for support, marketing, sales, legal. What is the key difference in agentic AI product, or what are the 3 things that differentiate agentic product rather than normal AI product? You will see a lot of unstructured data. You should see you need to take a lot of either text-based or text-based unstructure or even multimodal unstructure. Some data is in video format, some in this call audio, some is written. And if you combine all this, somebody needs to figure out patterns on those. That's where agents are good at. There is decision making and hopefully a little bit complex decision making, but not to the extent that it is too complex. not to the extent that it is simple, that it's a flow that any automation system would have done. I do step X, step Y, step Z. If that's simple, then don't waste agents on it. Let the agents do something else because they're consuming a lot of power at this point. So let's make sure that if you're turning them on, they actually make a difference. So what are the core responsibilities of AI Product Manager? You will define the problem. What is the AI problems you should be solving? You will break it down. This is needed for your engineering team. Or let's say the lower one, your VP tells you to go solve this. The second one, engineering will do it. The third one, you can say, I have a test team which does that. And then fourth one is your legal. And fifth one, who cares? So basically, we don't need AI product managers because VP can tell you what to do, engineers can break it down, tests can do evaluations, guardrails responsibility. But if that's not true for you, then stay here. We will be talking about all of these today. This is a 101 session where I talk about main things. So we'll talk about all these steps. Step one, how actually you go and build AI products. Step two, how to identify problem and how to identify solution and what are the key metrics of an AI product manager. Then we will talk about, okay, you have this idea. How can you break it down to take it from single agent to a multi-agent system, or what a multi-agent system looks like, breaking it down for your engineering or writing requirements, not a single agent, but a multi-agent system. How can you narrow the scope so your engineering can actually deliver something in 3 months and then iterate from there? Because if you say this nirvana is coming, which is AGI, it's not coming. And by the time it will come, you will lose your job and the whole of your team will be gone. So how can you narrow the scope and create a compelling roadmap? We'll discuss that. Then we'll discuss how can you actually evaluate or put the requirements for evaluation for these. How can you bring responsible AI component? How can you build a differentiated user experience while bringing responsible AI? And then in the end, I will tell you a few things about uh, pricing and things on pricing. Okay, so let's build the AI PRD. How many of you are ready for that? Let's just take an example. I like taking examples because examples just makes it faster for me to land ideas and for easier for you to follow, and also easier for you to pinpoint that this is BS. He's saying lie. This is not true because I have done this in past. Here is my example of a counter thing. So the problem we are solving a problem with contracts. Let's say there are a lot of kind of contracts. Consumers today don't know they sign a lot of contracts. By the way, every website you visit, if they say a cookie bar, that's a contract you sign. When you say accept or reject, even you say reject or you say accept minimum, you have signed a contract with them. On an average, you sign 7 to 8 contracts in a day. You just don't know. You don't know what you're signing. I remember one of my friend told me they went to this mocks website. Creating mocks was a cool thing 2 years ago. Lovable killed that joy now. We used to create mocks on different tools. But the idea was that, hey, he went there and he signed a contract where he signed his name and his company name that he worked for perpetuity for this team marketing. So what does that mean is if you download their tool and if you sign their agreement, you are signing, let's say, Microsoft or Google, and they can say Google and Microsoft use my product for perpetuity. Perpetuity means lifetime. And you did that. And you don't know that. And your company pings you and said you did it. And now they are fighting or paying that company to remove it. So that's one problem that consumer face. I know most of you have not faced it. Second is this problem because small businesses, 60% have been surprised what they signed. 13% have actually, small businesses have to shut down because they signed a liability of $10 million with Adobe or Oracle, and they came after them. They didn't have $10 million in bank. We were like, first we are who we are today, and then we become founders, and then we sign contracts like without reading them. And enterprise are no different. They are signing contracts because there, even if they have a team, it's so boring to read these contracts. Let's say I want to use AI to solve this problem. It has unstructured data, it has critical decision making, and it has the ingredient of evolving rules because complex contracts are not stopping. Now we have AI, data, and the complexity of what we need to sign or not sign is increasing day by day. By the way, I didn't told you this, but I will also tell you on each step what secrets I have learned in AI in my experience, which I will give you for free today. So just focus on this slide and take notes. Okay, everything else is fluff. This is the real deal for this session. So what is the secrets of building of creating AI problems? Make sure there is unstructured data, make sure complex decision making. Then please write in your problem statement that why OpenAI or Copilot can't do it. Because if they can do it, it's highly likely you can build it today, but then they will take it. So what's that? And in 2025, I added another one, which I just learned recently, that why tell me more about how AI-enabled SaaS platforms, which people are saying they are dead, they are not dead. They have more money than you. They have customers already, and they are also AI-enabled today. Why are they not solving? So in contract example, we have contract lifecycle management system. Anybody heard of this company called Ironclad? Contract pod? If not, that's really good for us. But if you have heard that, then you have to write in your PID that why are they not solving it? Or why you should be solving it. You tried it, it sucks, it's bad, it's really not their problem to solve. Please, I want to read that in your PID. So make sure you check out these 4 boxes and explain it in your problem statement. Then what is our solution? Our solution, imagine a solution which sits on your email, read every contract that comes to your email, tells you what the risks are in plain English. You can decide to sign it, or it drafts a response to the other party saying, these are the risks. Can you rewrite them? Send them a copy. Once you sign the contract, it also helps you make sure it's compliance related terms of data compliance. You can make sure you are doing those things in your company. Pricing, so that you can monetize. Your payment can happen on time based on the contract. You're charging them correctly. And you can set off limits across these things. So that's your vision. Okay, what are the insights in contracts, solutions, or any AI-based solution systems? What I'm looking for? What should be the real things you should put in your AI solutions section of your PID? How are you handle AI drawbacks today? I want to see that. When you give me a PID or when you're writing a PID or a proposal, I want to make sure that I want to see that you have AI doesn't work 30 to 40% of the time. How are you bringing human in loop? When they come in, what that experience looks like for consumer, what that experience looks like for data generation. Please cover for the gaps. Know your gaps. Everything is not so rosy in AI. 3 out of 10 cases don't work all the time. How you handle that, I want to see that in your solutions. What is your technical moat? I was listening to, I don't know why these days, Shark Tank sent me this video to watch. And there was somebody who pitched an idea, which was they were building a business where they can sell hotels rooms by hour. So you can get a room in the morning at 9 a.m. and check out at 12 p.m., like 3 hours. And they just grilled them on that. What is your moat? Because you want to prove this, and then hotel guys will offer this and you will be done. So what's your moat in AI? How are you building this? Are you building a moat on data? Are you building a moat on integrations? Are you building a moat on user experiences? Are you the first mover? What's that looks like? I want to see that in your solutions too. And can you have a long roadmap? Your solutions are something that you can create a long roadmap. What I mean by that? I mean by that is that you can actually go and talk to me that if this happens, then this happens. I was talking to this company. This is a big company, storage company. Think of it's a company name with, box or something. And they were saying, Mahesh, we built this. We spent like 8 months on this, and now ChatGPT does it out of box, which is citations, let's say. So they thought on the data they have, they can now show citations or metadata. But now OpenAI does it out of box. That means Azure does it out of box. That means people on Azure storage gets it for free. So if they get it for free, who's going to pay me? And then what should I do? Good. We have our problem. We have our solution. Okay. What are the key metrics? If you're going to build AI agents, Your North Star metrics should be task completion rate. In my case, how many contracts am I able to analyze with high and show risks? What is my error rate? Keep the same user feedback, which you had before agents started doing it. So now if machines are processing contract, you still need to see, are your customers happy? Your net promoter score is same. Are you helpful? Which is a big deal in itself, which we'll talk later. Your secondary metrics should be cost per contracts, token consumed, latency, lead with these. And last, make sure you have some money making metrics because all this is fun metrics. This is the real metrics. Then let's get to step two. We have identified the problem. We have a solution. We have made sure that the solution has a long roadmap. The solution makes sure that it is a solution which scales or brings us the technical moat. And it's the solution that we can go and build with a differentiated UX. You will learn that your agent is not a single agent, it's many things. In my example, first you have to process emails and make sure extract only emails which has contract. That could be just one agent with its own accuracy, with its own bad solution. If you got a convert document can be in PDF format and models don't understand PDF. They can take text or ideally tokens, which we talk about some other day. But how can you convert a PDF to token is another AI service. Then you have to extract or know what, if this kind of a contract, then what are the important clauses or key terms? Because you can't just say, here's the contract and everything is a risk, or you need to know. That's another agent. And then response. Where are you going to put this information? Or you have to find what is the risk. Because let's say the liability is 2 million, then who cares? Is it a risk because 2 million is a bigger number? Or what's the rationale? Then you have to create a playbook. You have to find what is the market value of a liability of a company of your size versus a company which is making you sign of this size deal. So let's say you're signing a $10 million deal at $2 million liability is okay. Or if that's the market rate for this company, then that's okay. But you have to create that playbook also. So all I've been trying to tell you here is that you have to break your critical user journey, like what steps are there, and break them down into different agents or different AI tools that you will be your agent will be based on. Once you do that, you can do a risk assessment on which agents are at risk, which are like okay risk, minimum risk. So what you can do is email integration. I think Zapier and all solve that problem. So we can think like low risk, but nobody has created a key terms or a rule book on what is a risk, what is a not risk in a contract. So it's a high risk. Once you do that, you can narrow the scope. What does that mean? That means you're not going to build the whole AGI based system, which can look at every contract on your email and give you risks. You may want to say, I'm going to focus on one kind of contract or two kind of contract to start with. That will narrow the scope, something that your engineering can build. Second, what we did in this case is we said, we're going to ask the user to put this playbook of what is risk to them, what is not risk to them. And it turns out that most of the lawyers have already done that in the companies that you're going to talk to. And then you are prioritizing what tenants will make it to rank risky. What is risky one, risk two, risk three, ranking them, get the tenants from them, what matters to them, or create it. And if you have these three, then you can start building your first. So this is what your engineering wants. Most of the people are talking about AI. The VPs wants the revolution. They're giving you this agenda saying, hey, this quarter, I want to get AI in the company. But you need something like this, which is, hey, in MVP, we will extract only MSA contracts and we will just give key terms and their values from the contract at high accuracy, and we will submit them to HubSpot. Somebody can read it, do it, publish it, and in 3 months, you can claim we are an AI company. By the way, that's what Intuit did. They did very basic stuff and then said we are an AI company. They want to make sure that they are releasing and they are iterating every 3 months. And next 3 months, you can come and say, now I can find risk in those contracts. Next 3 months, you can say, I can actually redline, which is in Word, I can strike out where the risk is and put the correct values. And then In phase 3, you can say, I can do Q&A across contracts. So you put 100 of contracts and I can find risk in those 100 contracts. And then you can go on and on. Then you can say, I can do it in leasing agreement, employment agreements. You got the idea of long roadmap? You see my roadmap now? I can start making it and start lengthening this AI roadmap as much as I want, and I can continue shipping. But before I can ship all that, I can start here, which I can be proud of, somebody will pay for, and I have validated my riskiest assumptions. So what are my learnings? Again, everything I told you, you can forget. Just copy this slide, which is anytime anybody is telling you AI, it's not a single AI agent, it's multiple AI agents that you will need. You have to put your highest, riskiest bet first in AI because most of the things are not working and some of them will never work. So make sure they are there and you have validated your team and saved them rather than building some simple thing and then 6 months later you are saying, oh, actually we can never read contracts from emails because that's not even allowed by some AI act. Okay, thank you very much. You are fired because the VP is not going to get fired because he needed somebody. And that's why he made you wrote that PRD on his idea. And now he's saying, I have a lot of ideas. It was your job. And narrow the scope, narrow the scope. I'm in the rooms where engineering managers have came to me and took me out and told me, say, Mahesh, we are in this AI product manager room and discussions for last 6 months, and 20 engineers are sitting there doing fun with AI tools and building some prototypes, and nobody knows what I can ship to customers which they will pay for. Can you create that roadmap? And if you can, I think you are the AI PM, and if you can't, you are not. Even if you have the best ideas, even if you think, and even if you know all the tech like MCP, A2A, all the jargons on LinkedIn, the real crux is actually, can you create that roadmap which I just showed you? So if you have these three, we are good. Second last step, you want to evaluate. Okay, you have created your product, you have an MVP, it sits on your email, it extracts key terms, and now it can actually extract those key terms values like what is the contract name, what is the amount, what is the liability amount, what you have signed as an insurance, and it has already inserted in your CRM, Salesforce, HubSpot, and everywhere. You want to evaluate the model to use. Anybody knows what is a LLM? LLM is a large language model, which is the intelligence which we are commoditizing here in this call. It has access to knowledge. It has access to signals. It has access to tools, and it has its guardrails. This is building agents 101. So what it is, and when you're building these models, they can have knowledge, which is how the world works. So when we grew up, we were born, first thing we were learning is how the world works. We had knowledge of what is hot, what is cold. This knowledge was there in some books. We didn't read it. We only experienced it through signals, which is our body giving us signals. Similarly, it has access to databases, which it can query and find out information, or it has access to a lot of documentation, which you provide or somebody has provided. And using these two, this intelligence can work. And then it can change the state of the world. So this is the current state of how the world works, current state of the world. And with tools, it can change the state of the world. And then it can put checks, what's allowed, what's not allowed. These are laws, policies, governance that we have put on ourselves, that what I can do in this call, what words can I use, what can I say about Chicago, what I can't say about Chicago, and all that are guardrails. The thing that powers this is LLM or intelligence. And we are trying to see if you want to choose these LLMs today, there are more than 200 good options available on Azure, which are production scale, tested, can be deployed in a second. How you choose that, or how you put requirements that will allow your engineering team to choose these LLMs. First, map your customer journey. In our case, no, which we did. Hey, they go to the email. We read it from the email. First, we have to find out what type of contract it is, then extract key terms, then extract the value of those key terms, then get a playbook, and then find risks. So what kind of job you are doing? You are doing extraction, you're doing language understanding. These are terms in AI. And if you can map that, you get bonus points. Even if you don't do it, some engineer will do it, but that's okay. But if you can list down what you're doing and what happens in this process, then they can find out what is there. And the second step of that is you can actually create what is the largest contract you want to process. What is this idea of context length? I need to talk about a little bit tech because you signed up today for an AI session. Context length is this idea that these models, LLMs, as a user, you send a prompt, say, hey, give me to the model, this LLM. You say, hey, here is my contract. Give me key terms in it. So this is your prompt. This is your context. And length of prompt plus everything you're passing, the size of this prompt plus all the information you passed is called context length. And LLMs have a limit on how much context length they can take per request. So if you specify the size of contracts, let's say you say my largest contract is 500 pages, each page has some on an average 200 words. So you're looking at 10K. Any contract, anything which can process 100K contract length can process it. But if the model has a 16K context limit, then this model cannot process this contract fully. So that's why it's important for you to specify the requirement, like what is the largest size of your contract that you want to process. And if you give that requirement, it will help me choose what kind of model I want. Because until recently, like 3 months ago, OpenAI models, the largest they could process is 64K context length, right? And they now introduced 128K. That means I can only process contracts which are 100, like 1,000 pages. But if I have 5 contracts, each 1,000 pages, then I can't use that model. So all these requirements you can give, plus your journey. And then you have this idea of benchmarks. These model providers are already releasing how good they are in language processing, how good they are in tools calling, which is this idea of calling tools for email integration. There will be a tool it calls to go and insert in your HubSpot or Salesforce. And somebody is benchmarking that how good this model is in calling tools. So if your journey has integrations like tools calling, then checking a benchmark which tells me that this model is good at 50% or 70% in calling tools correctly, then I will go with that model. But if this doesn't have tool calling, then I can go with other models because I don't care about that benchmark. So I can just look at the benchmarks and do this model selection. You have an agent now, and the agent does this end-to-end work. You give it contract, it looks at your email, and magically you get another email from your agent which says, hey, I found these 5 risks in the contract. You should sign or not sign. And if not sign, then I have redlined those things in the contract. You can send it to the other party. Sounds like a good agent to have. So how are you going to evaluate it? Is it working? It is not working. So how we evaluate agents is we will go and talk to lawyers and we will say, hey, here is 100 contracts that I got in my email. Can you go and send me this email with the real risks and what I should modify in this contract? That thing is called setting up your golden data set. All of us can do that. That's the easy part. Actually, it's very hard in reality, but let's say you took it, shook your hand, I took it. It's easy. Then you have to put logging and measurement requirements on how are you going to find out, because remember, we don't have a single agent, we have many agents. So what that looks like. Then you have to put what is allowed, what is not allowed, where are the guardrails for your things and what are the restrictions. And you have to check for those. So you create data sets for those also. And then let me just throw the last thing at you, which is this. By the way, this is the hardest, largest, biggest thing I'm going to say today. After this, it's just downhill from here. So this is all you have to climb in learning. For this framework, which is HHH, which we created, or I think I can take all the credit I created when first time I was looking at how to evaluate agents. And I thought, how we evaluate agents should be how we evaluate humans. And the framework is this helpful? Because if I hire somebody to do a job, I see if this person is helpful, if this person is honest, if this person is harmless. If these three are true, I was ready to invest in them, even if they were not perfect. And that's what we created, evaluation framework, which figures out, is the agent helpful? You can figure out what is helpful. Now, what is a helpful agent in our case? And who will tell us what is a helpful contract risk management system looks like? Is it solving a specific problem? When it does, is it too verbose? Does it miss key information? And you can go add on. If you're talking to lawyers, they will tell you what helpful means in their own world. YC was giving another example that somebody was building a software for truck drivers because they were automating their processes or their compliance specific stuff. And they have to go to Nebraska to get these questions, which is what is helpful. Believe me, last year, when they said AI products or what it takes to build AI products, everybody said you need prompts and prompt engineers, and prompts is the real deal. It's not. The real deal is setting these evaluations, figuring out what is helpful in your use case, and setting and putting this up. Same for honest, same for harmless. If you have done it, then you can do something like this, which is, here is a sample. So this is the contract, and you can get a ground truth. These are the key terms in the contract. This is the ground truth. And then somebody can go and mark these questions. And then you can come up with a number saying, we are this much helpful today. We are this much honest, which are this much harmless. Good. Now you're building a responsible, intelligent agent, and you can measure its success, something objectively. And then you can set your roadmap like this, saying we're going to release to 1 to 2% when our helpful is 60%, our honesty is 75%, and our harmless rate is less than 5%. And now your engineering has something to shoot for, and you have something that shows the world that you just don't release things. You have done due diligence. And even if things will not work, you know that 40% time I'm not helpful. And you are also saying that best case is 8 out of 10, because AI doesn't work all the time. We still need to bring in humans, and I have a plan for it. But that's my goal. And then you can scale it with auto agents. How you set that up? First, you get human evaluators to evaluate. You got a lot of lawyers who are evaluating every response, saying, is it helpful? Is it honest? Is it harmless? And then you're saying, actually, some of these I can just compare to ground truth and see if AI response is equal to human response. We have metrics like Blue, Rouge, and we can check those. Some other day we'll talk about them. And then we can train AI to actually judge these results also. So you don't need truck drivers. You have what they give, or you don't need lawyers to do this evaluation for you. You have AI lawyers, AI truck drivers who have listened enough conversations, and now they can say, is this helpful or not, based on a question and an answer that your agent gave. So I want to tell you, if you're not setting evaluations, your engineering can build something that will work for 5 top customers or your top customers on your pipeline in 5 minutes, 50 minutes, or maximum 5 days. But it will not work for 50, and it will not work for 500. That's a secret. Nobody knows that. And that's why a lot of people are saying engineers can build so many things and now we can ship so many things. It's not true. We have to set evaluations. And if you set those evaluations right, you will know that nothing is working. And it will still take 3 to 6 months to launch a very basic version of something that will work in customer hands, which you can stand behind. Engineers don't set evaluations. We are used to that as product manager, that we write requirements and then engineers write code and do testing. In AI, they don't. And when you ask them to write evaluations, they will write evaluations as if they were writing tests, and they will pass them, and they will ship them, and they will get the bonus, and then they will move the team because they know nothing works. And you will be stuck with your VP to figure out what to do next, or when can we shut it down. By the way, last thing I will tell you, the world is telling you that LLM judge or automated evals and all that. None of that is working in production. The production is still lawyers, still you need to hire truck drivers to do your evals. Subject matter expert is the competency, is the differentiation. Do not lose them. Please keep them. They are the ones which will build your product, not you. You cannot learn how law works or what a normal response looks like, even if you look at hundreds of evals every day. You will always have these corner cases, and these are the real people, and please bring them in, and that's the new world. So those are my secrets. The last one I will go quickly, which is how you price these. I will give you just quick nuggets on this. First, know your cost. Your cost of building a product is X. Your cost of evaluating is 10X. Your cost of actually acquiring customers in this space is 100X. So do not start with, I took this API, I paid like $5, and here is my product. I will price it at $6 and I will make a lot of money and I'm the $1 billion company. Know the value you are adding. That was clear in the beginning. If not, then know that how much money, time you're saving in this contract process. And if I have to go to a lawyer, what that would look like. Add future cost projections. This is even more important. You have seen the cost of intelligence go 10x lower every 6 months for last 3 years. So how can you take that cost and give it to your customers upfront is the another thing I want you to think. You can give them discounts today. And by the way, you should price it. The rule of thumb is whatever value you are adding divided by 100. And if you can't sustain that, do not ship these products. Nobody's going to pay you more than 1/100th of the value. You can't say a lawyer takes 200K, so give me 200K per hour. What are the secrets of pricing? Last thing I'm going to land. People think they can price at tokens. Tokens, nobody knows. Your customers don't know what are tokens or whatever credit you think you know. They want to know what are you delivering. So if you are doing tokens-based pricing, don't do it. Page-based pricing, don't do it. Do contract-based pricing. I will process a contract. I will charge you $5. I will give you risks. 8 out of them will be correct. By the way, if you are building agents, people are only going to pay you when you succeed, which is you have an email with risks and they are saying these are great risks. By the way, 10x time your agents won't solve that problem and it will fail miserably. So 10x times you fail. So that cost you 10x more than you succeed. So put that in your pricing. You can't just say that it costs me $10 and I'm going to price it at $11. Every success case comes with like 9 failure cases or cost of consuming tokens or words. And the last thing is you have to start with free. People need to see value in your product. You're selling intelligence. Nobody knows how to buy intelligence or pay for intelligence. If you talk to enough customers, you will know that they have made up their mind saying, we're not paying for AI. So how can you make a free version and sell that first? And then the last insight I will give you is price yourself higher because lower prices is even harder to sell than higher prices in AI. When you price higher, I don't know why yet, but people are buying more. So those are my insights. By the way, I'm Mahesh. I teach a course on AI PMs where I talk about all these things, but you need not to attend that course because I taught you all this in last 1 hour. I help you also prepare for AI interviews, which I will give you free if you join the course. What I talked about is all these 4 steps. This is what we discussed today. We discussed how to identify problem, do solutions, break them down, create awesome roadmaps, evaluate them, make them responsible, and then price them correctly. And last thing I will land is here are my resources. This is if you want to be like me, if you want to know all these terms, what they mean, you can just go here and ask what that term is and it will answer it. Here is my daily dose of how I learn about AI. These are the articles I read. These are the people I follow. If you like this session, if you want more, I can do another session for this group because I love this group enough. And thank you for all showing up in such a quantity and being an awesome audience.